Okay, episode 9.
Episode 9. How'd we get this far, mate?
And I'm looking bright today.
You are looking absolutely...
What am I wearing, do you know?
You are part of a very exclusive club wearing that shirt, mate. You are part of the Meat Stock Scriminators, which is the name we've given our team of guys that basically build and take down every meat stock.
Yeah, so these guys use a lot of cable ties. They put up a lot of scrim, fences, signage, all the rest of it. And there's a tight-knit crew, and they have their own merch, and you have to be very special to get one.
They do. I'm not sure how Shannon Walker ended up with one, but...
Or get the merch, which is how I got one.
You might know a guy.
All right, what about you?
Mate, I'm wearing my festive shirt from Die Hard. Now, there's two types of people in this world. There's people that believe Die Hard is a Christmas movie and those people that are fucking wrong. So now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. Got my dyslexic Santa hat on.
Cool.
Your hat, mate?
I think I've got a Jack Daniel's hat on that I got from Brazil, and Jack Daniel's does a lot of stuff with barbecue in Brazil. So I don't know where I got this from, but it's from Brazil.
Sick.
All right, let's get into it. So this is the fuck up of the week. It's our favourite time. Before I play this one, I need to preface this by saying that these people I think they're like a professional internet celebrity couple. But let's play it.
Babe, that thing's got a heartbeat. That is so disgusting.
It's a steak. It's called Wellington.
What the frick?
It's like a cheeseburger, right?
No, that is so nasty. You don't eat it like a cheeseburger, you idiot.
What do you do with it?
You gotta cut it still. It's a steak. It ain't babe, quit, Jordan. That's why I don't take you to a fancy restaurant, buddy.
Yeah, there ain't no way you can eat that like a cheeseburger.
Act like
It looks delicious, though.
It's a great looking beef Wellington. Did Gordon Ramsay make beef Wellington famous?
You'll say he did.
He might have. Yeah, she's eating it like a cheeseburger.
Good girl.
These people have millions of followers, so I'm sure it's set up. But nevertheless, funny. Next one.
That needs some TLC right there. There'd be some mice living in that, I reckon.
No, this was for sale on Facebook Marketplace.
For sale or for free? Have you ever tried to sell anything on that website? You would not be wanting guys haggling you down on that thing.
This guy would be really annoyed with how many people keep saying, "Is it still for sale?"
And then he says yes, and then they reply with, "I'm not surprised."
So everybody that lives in Australia at some point bought a 4-burner barbecue, gas barbecue.
With a hood.
With a hood, right? Because we all thought that we put the hood down, create extra fire, extra smoke. It was good to keep the flavour in, whatever it was. But we've all had to dispose of one as well.
Yeah, they're big and clunky. They usually end up on the front of the house at the same time as the glass top table because everyone had one of them. They just didn't age well in the Aussie decor.
So I don't know what it was, but at some point in Australian history, we all switched from charcoal to gas. Maybe it was cheap, I don't know. But we all thought it was better. Every one of us had one. But now you see them on the side of the road a lot. If you go to the tip where we take all our rubbish, you also see a ton of them sitting there in the metal recycling, don't you?
Yeah, they don't build them to repair them these days. It's all just a chuck away society.
No, and I don't think this is going to sell.
No, it's not going to buff out.
Okay, dishes of the week. Now, this one caught my eye. Let's have a bit of a play. Some meatballs there.
It's got the gosney.
Bit of flatbread. So this is cooked by a guy called Dan Barrington.
Ah, yes.
Know of Dan?
We know of Dan. Hi, Dan.
So Dan is cooking chicken thighs, marinated in yogurt spices and lemon, cooked over heat beads charcoal. He used a bit of Lane's garlic rub on some naan bread, cooked that in the gosney, and then he served it on a bed of basmati rice.
Mate, he has knocked that out of the park. That looks bloody delicious. I do love a good Indian-inspired feed, and he's kicking goals there.
So he's got all the Indian flavours with the addition of some smoky, charry goodness.
Yeah, I like it. You know what I'm wondering people have never, you don't see? Indian spiced fried chicken. Like, why don't people take chicken like that and then bread it and deep fry it?
You could be onto something.
I've always wondered that. People use the Nashville hot. You use a wet chicken, then you bread it and you fry it and it comes out crispy as. Would the same mechanics work for Indian spice?
It should.
I thought of it first.
All right, let's move on to the next one. This one was on, I think it was on Reddit by Ian JMCG, and this is a homemade Wagyu ribeye cheesesteak hoagie.
It looks good. There's some good marbling through there. You'd assume that's almost just offcuts too. So he's probably trimmed up a whole cube roll and just decided to do something epic with the leftovers, and he smashed it.
He has. He smashed it. He made the bread himself, which he
Wow.
was pretty proud of, and that bread does look smashing. But you know what? In the comments, he copped a heap of shit because everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't use that quality of steak for such a, B-grade dish.
I thought
But
he'd
he-
get it for the quality of how he's trimmed his thumbnail there, mate.
He has done a good job there. But I feel like he's made a B-grade dish and an A-grade dish. By making the bread, using quality ingredients, I'd smash that.
I would.
Okay. I think we invented the term bogan bougie.
I cooked this for my kids last night. Party pies and fucking frozen pizza,
Did you do
bro.
it in the barbecue, though?
No, I didn't. I should have. I'm now inspired to do it again.
So this was posted by Intelligent Love on Reddit, and he called it the struggle meal.
That's not struggling.
Well, he said he threw whatever was in the freezer in the barbecue. Now, people gave him a heap of shit and said, what, was your oven broken? And when I first saw it, I laughed, right? But I think he's done pretty good.
He's kicked ass, mate. Are they little empanadas there or pierogies? I thought maybe they might have been little prawn toasts at first glance, but I mean, this is a freezer clean out success.
A freezer clean out. I love it. So we've all got a heap of crap sitting in the freezer, and to be honest, it's not that great in the oven.
You could almost call it Frostbite Fridays.
You need to trademark that.
Freezer burn Fridays.
So he's just put it in the looks like a Weber, and he's got the coals offset to one side, so a bit of indirect cooking, but he's got the perfect crispiness to all of this stuff.
Yeah, he's kicked ass.
What a winner. All right. He said he used applewood, though, and he said probably would not recommend that.
Yeah, probably a little bit overpowering. You wouldn't need anything but charcoal, I reckon.
All right. There's a new one for you. I'm
in
going to
the
be
hot
interested
seat.
in seeing this one. Burn or bark. So we did a couple of episodes where we got a bit of traction because people had burnt their barbecue. So a lot of the times you hear people say, it's burnt, it's burnt. As soon as they see barbecue, it's burnt. But it's not. It's bark. It's a caramelization of the outside of the meat, which is delicious, right? And it's not burnt tasting at all. But there is a fine line.
And it's pretty obvious to some people that what is burnt and what is bark. And I'm going to test that knowledge right now.
Right. And then I'm going to confirm. If it's 2 for 2, then we can confirm it's either burnt or bark. If it's 1 to 1, I think it could be contentious and people should leave their comments to break the tie.
Well, there's always rock, paper, scissors.
We could do that too. All right, first one up. We've got a chicken here.
I reckon that's bark.
I'm going to say that's fucking burnt. Look at those wings, bro. They're gone.
Yeah, but it could be crust as well. See, I'm trying to play a bit conservative here because otherwise I'm pretty sure that you're just going to be throwing burnt at me flat out.
So there's that mallard reaction that creates that flavour and texture that you get out of barbecue. But when it goes past that point and it looks like dark, that the chicken wings do like that, for me, all I can taste is charcoal.
Yeah, look, I'm swaying more towards burnt now because what's happened, and I know this from experience, is he's put them on too hot and the sauce is set and is ready, but the chicken's not cooked. So he's just had to keep it on the heat.
And I feel like all of that garnish on top, this ain't not hiding it.
Yeah, that's it.
Gypsy tricks. Okay, next one.
Oh, now you're testing me.
This is a tough one.
It is. I'm going to say that that's bark.
I'm going to go with burnt. Look, I've done plenty of pork ribs in my time that when you get, especially when you have the sugar and you kind of like you've got it in foil, that sugar can sometimes burn or over caramelize is the only way I'd describe it. It's not that far past bark. It's pretty close. I feel like it's borderline, but I just feel like a little bit too far. And I could be wrong. Again, that's a tie. You can unbreak this tie, right?
You know what's confusing me, and I think it's going to become a dead giveaway, is the garnish. These
the tricks they're using.
I think now, because I'm absorbing what you're saying, and I'm thinking, yeah, you don't normally, I mean, unless you're Adam Roberts, you don't put nuts on your pork ribs, which he probably only did once, but he'll never live it down.
Can I just say it was delicious?
Bro, pork and pistachio's a thing.
It's a thing. It's a real thing. And I thought he was mad when I first tried it too, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
All right, last one.
Come on, that's got to be bark.
It's bark all day. Yeah. I mean, these are just standard perfect burnt eds. They've had that barkiness to them that is a great mix of tenderness and sauciness and bark, and this is bang on for me.
Is that pork or beef?
I want to say they're pork burnt ends.
Yeah, I agree.
I could be wrong, but a lot of people get pissy about people calling pork burnt ends because it's supposed to be beef brisket, but they kind of use the same process. I don't know.
Tomatoes, you know.
Yeah. All right. Another new one.
This
I'm
could
stitching
be
you up.
this could be out of date by the time the way inflation's going, mate. This could be irrelevant by the time this episode comes out.
It could be. And what really annoys me about barbecue, and especially barbecue in a professional setting, is you've got so many home-based keyboard warrior backyard cooks that as soon as they see something in a professional environment, a platter of barbecue, it doesn't really matter how much it is. They always sit there and go, oh, that's a rip-off. I could do better at home, like, oh, that's ridiculous. And they seem to think that whatever they could buy the meat for at their local butcher should be what a professional restaurant sells it for, not to mention their labour, rent, expenses and all the rest of it, right? So this is kind of where this little thing comes in. The reality is if you want to go out to a restaurant, you don't want to cook, it's a treat. You have to pay for it, right? And then there's quantity over quality sometimes too that a lot of people just don't take into account. Some people value quantity and some people value quality. I feel like I value quality over quantity, but a lot of people don't. So tell me what you think of this one.
Well, I'm trying to gauge a bit of a size there. That is a big platter. I'd say that's probably a 4 to 6 person platter there. Are we talking Aussie dollars or US dollars?
I'm going to convert it. So let's go into the US first. So actually go Aussie and I'll convert it back.
I'm going to say it's about $180, so probably 100 US.
Yeah, you're spot on. It's exactly 100 US. So this is called the King's Feast. I couldn't find out what the restaurant name was. I looked everywhere, but it's based out of St. Peter's in Minnesota. Someone in the comments called it a platter of sadness.
I don't know about that, mate. I'm feeling pretty happy just looking at it. But let's talk about the price. Like, if you got 4 people, which that's easily going to feed, and you're getting a taste of a heap of different stuff, if you and 3 mates went out and all ordered a dish individually, you're not going to get it at $25 a head like what this is costing you.
No, this is a bargain.
Yeah.
There's no other way around this. This is an absolute bargain. The tacos...
They're a long way from Mexico, bro.
They're Antarctican tacos.
Yes.
They're a long way from Mexico. Very mid. The brisket might be mid, but they've got the quantity down pat.
They have.
All right, next one.
Oh, now you got some different proteins. You've got the beef rib. I'm going to say that's about 45 US.
All right, so this is Terry Black's in Texas, and you're looking at $90 USD. And I don't even know if it included a tip or not. But having said that, Terry Black's is one of the most popular joints in Texas. There's obviously not the quantity, but I still feel like there's great value. You've got 5 different sides there, a ton of brisket, some beef ribs. I mean, a beef rib alone is 40 Australian dollars, 50 Australian dollars. Easy. Okay, one more.
Oh, does it come with a dessert? Is that included?
He did.
So we got some gumbo there. Is that gumbo in that little rice pot?
I don't know what that is, to be honest. You got brisket, sausage.
That doesn't look like a share plate. I'm going to say that one's about around the $40
Australian?
US.
US 60. So about $100 Australian. He said the brisket was great. The birra sausage, it's a birra sausage, was great. The mac and cheese was better than it looked.
So you got to tell me all this before I guess, bro. To me, that's just a normal sausage, and then you're hitting me with some fancy link.
Good. And it's banana pudding cheesecake.
Yes.
Yeah. So he said that it was a must, but he couldn't finish it, so he had to take it home.
That's not a bad thing, though. You walk it off, you sit down on the couch with a cup of tea at the end of the night, you are in fucking heaven.
That, to me, looks like a great spread for one. And compared to the first one, it's probably twice the price. But if the quality's there, so be it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you can't put a price on a good time. And if it's going to be memorable, then you do you.
Yeah. All right. On to videos of the week. This is one that is going viral as we speak. I'm going to play it for you.
So we're up to about 4 million views on Facebook on this one. This is a mate of ours, Nick, from New Zealand. And he's using the old way of just using weights and gravity to spin that the spit around with the chicken on there. And this just started as a bit of a muck around experiment with him and his kids. And yeah, a lot of primitive technology. If those two words go together, then he's nailed it.
It's a cool project to do with your kids, right? Gets them busy and interested, and you're also cooking dinner.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, sometimes you do have to justify your love to barbecue to people that might not give as much of a shit about it as you. I mean, that's quite often why our wives let us cook as much as we do, because we're providing epic meals.
Agree.
And I mean, he's probably fulfilled a bit of homework here too with the young'uns.
Done well. Okay, next one. I might just turn this down a little bit.
Senior Pit, Knoxville, Tennessee, folks. Today, I got something a little different for y'all. Now, we built this rig from man Gary, and let me tell you something about Gary. He is a big scout guy. So we got an old international scout here. Pretty rare one at that.
I reckon corners terribly.
So this video goes for quite a while, and we won't watch it all. But basically, they're a pit builder, and they've put one of their pits on the back of an old Scout. He does say that the suspension was already set up for this sort of thing because it was used as a cargo handling truck on an aeroplane. So you'd be able to pull up and throw your bags on it, and it was kind of built with all the extra suspension on it. So done a cool job. I think it looks fantastic. I don't know if you'd be driving it around on the road, but
you definitely wouldn't be lighting it before you were driving, that's for sure.
But that brings me to my point, though. You know, the ice cream man. Ice cream man. This could be you could be the barbecue man. You could ring the bell, drive around,
Mate,
open
how
the lid.
good would that be? Hey, I've got tacos.
And kids that come running out, but they're not kids. They're kind of like 35-year-old men, 50-year-old men, come running out of their houses, and you're ready to go. You've got it all set up.
That's it. You just need to patent a design where you just pull the lever and the taco meat comes out. Maybe like that meat fountain we had on a couple of episodes ago.
All right, so on to some news, and this one really annoyed me. I've got to say, we live in a town, or I live in a town called Port Macquarie. You live just down the road a little bit in Foster. But Gosney, who's a brand that I love and respect, and I own their pizza ovens and love them, has declared that the town that I live in is the vegan capital of Australia.
And what are they basing that off?
Bullshit.
Correct data?
I don't even know what the point of the whole thing is anyway, but a lot of people eat pizzas with all sorts of toppings, right? Meat's a popular topping. I love cheese pizzas. I love vegetarian pizzas. And it's weird for me in the fact that for the data they've used, they said that the town that I live in has 1,400 restaurants offering vegan and vegetarian options.
Wow.
Now, there's not even 200 restaurants in Port Macquarie, and that's counting KFCs and takeaway stores. There wouldn't be 100 restaurants in Port Macquarie. So how they've come up with the fact that there's 1,400 vegan restaurants in the town I live in, we've been tarnished with this brush, and I feel dirty.
Well, you know what you need to do? Put on a barbecue festival.
We did used to run a barbecue festival in Port Macquarie. It was the home of the Blues and Barbecue Festival, which is no longer in Port Macquarie and has obviously expanded to the major capital cities. But yeah, I don't know where they come up with the data. It's obviously wrong. We're not vegan. Like, with all due respect, if you are vegan, that's fine. I have zero issues with that. But Port Macquarie is not a great town that caters to vegans. And if you're a vegan living in Port Macquarie, your options are pretty bloody limited compared to if you lived in, I don't know, Surrey Hills or the inner city of Sydney. How they think Port Macquarie is a great vegan town, I don't know.
You know who's going to be more upset than you about this? A carload of vegans that comes to Port Macquarie based off this data.
They're going to be disappointed.
They are. They're probably just going to have to like just chew the grass or something like that. But
I will say, underneath my old office in Clarence Street, and they reference Clarence Street in their press release here, there is a really good Indian vegan place.
yeah, it's delicious.
It's really good. Okay, custom rigs. So these are some things that we've found on the internet here that we thought are worth a mention. They're like barbecues with wheels on them. This was the first one.
What's that, an old ambulance?
I think it is.
It's called the meat wagon too, which is a derogatory term for a ambulance with its lights on.
So apparently it's Hill City Chop House. They're a Texas Monthly Top 25 new barbecue joint, and this must be their catering setup that they roll around in. So they've kind of got turned the kitchen, or they've turned the medical area into a kitchen, I'm guessing, and they roll around and do their prep in the truck and cook the barbecue in the trailer.
That is one happy dog too.
Didn't even see him.
He's riding shotgun. He's probably loaded up on brisket trim.
Oh, he's a lucky dog. All right, next.
Why hasn't this become a thing? You've got the Traeger and the Indian motor. So I just really hope this isn't AI.
I don't think it's AI because it's old. Like, I hadn't seen it before, and I think the photo's like 10 years ago.
Is it sure that Traeger model dates back 10 years?
Maybe not. Maybe,
That's how we can debunk it.
potentially. I hope it's real. It was done, I think it was commissioned by a company called Easy Rider Whiskey. So they've got themselves an old Indian and they've retrofitted a Traeger smoker, pellet smoker on the back. And I think they commissioned the bike builders to do it. Hope it's real. If you know it's real, let us know.
I wonder what the power source is, though. You'd have to have a fair battery to run a Traeger.
Yeah, maybe it's for show. Maybe when you pull up, you plug her in.
Well, those mushrooms don't look really cooked. So.
They don't do that. All right, this is something else that caught
This is
us.
sexy. This is the Tiffany of barbecues.
I love that colour.
Yeah.
So a good friend of ours, Jared from New Zealand, he's a pit builder. He builds these pits called octo pits. But this is a really big one normally to what usually his pits are quite small.
Yeah, so the reason they were called octo pits was because he didn't have a device to roll the pit chambers into the round cylinders that you see, so he built them with 8 sides, hence the name octo pit. And then he evolved that into his multi-Q, which is basically almost a square rectangle version of a drum smoker. And he's combined those two technologies here, where this actually doesn't rely on draft through the fire door. It actually uses the exhaust, the reverse exhaust, which he pioneered through his multi-Qs. So this is a brand new concept.
Wow. Okay, so how does the reverse exhaust work? Do you know?
Well, exhaust is obviously smoke exiting. So this is air going in instead of coming out.
Right, and then you just obviously control the air in and out by the top bits.
Yeah, so that's how the drum smokers work with it. Pulls the air down and then it shoots it back up. So instead of being shot up in the top like a vortex, it's obviously going into the cooking chamber. And I reckon it would possibly be more fuel efficient if it's running like that.
Yeah, well, I love the colour. Stunning. I love his air intakes there. And I also love those chrome decals.
Looks beautiful.
I've asked him for some better photos because I feel like these are just in the workshop type things.
Well,
but
it is still in the workshop. It was being built so it could be cooked on this weekend.
Yeah. It takes about 10 hours to cook a brisket, and I think they were still 4 hours away to get the pit there to still put them on in time. I don't think they would have made it.
No, that's what pellet smokers are for, mate.
I say that
Just
again.
finish them off.
He was on a crunch to get this done, though. So he had a festival to get this done for, and as far as I'm aware, they were literally driving it there to, as soon as it arrived, chuck a heap of briskets in it, and off they went.
You probably had it preheating on the highway.
He could
You probably could, because it's not going to bounce anything out. Like, you're not going to have risk of sparks flying out the back door.
No.
And if anyone was going to do it, it'd be J-Mac.
You want to hear a funny story about that?
Yes.
At Meat Stock one year, there was a guy who was a bit of a dickhead. And in the morning, security had a lot of problems with him overnight, so they kicked him out of the festival. And he was in a big huff, got his car and trailer, hooked his trailer up, which was a trailer pit, and drove off. And as he drove off, his back door of the smoker box was just flapping open while the fire was going in the smoker box, and we all just waved to him as he drove out the door.
That's one way to cause an exit.
Okay, barbecue backyards.
We like these ones.
We do. This is a great one.
It's very compact. I have a feeling that this is a bit of a Pandora's box, though. It's going to unveil something spectacular.
Yeah, it doesn't look like much. It sort of looks like something you'd have next to your pool, and the pump for the pool would be in there, right? He made it himself, which is a kind of where it, the ingenuity comes from. But he made it himself, and he's purpose built it for this reason. He's sort of decked it out, according to the trouble. That's what it looked like.
Cool. I didn't know what was going on in the picture beforehand. I'm like, is that a stool? Is he just going to sit in there on his own, like a booth for one? But no, he's done well. He's hidden his gas bottle.
So he's got a little roof on it there, so he's out of the weather while he's trying to do some barbecue, and the roof obviously closes down, keeps all his pits out of the weather, and he doesn't have a big backyard, obviously, or places to put his pits, but I think he's come up with a pretty cool way of killing a lot of birds with one stone.
Definitely has. You just want to hope that this cedar's not going to heat up too much with that Kamado.
This is the kind of project that I feel like would have a lot of teething problems.
And you can tell it was the wife telling him to keep the backyard tidier.
That's when she says, you need to get rid of some barbecues. And you're like, well, what if I cover them up?
Yeah, I just bought this new bit of fence. I got rid of some barbecues.
Okay, we've got some art by Sigh.
Oh, look out. Pressure's on. Oh, yeah, here we go. This was a bit of a mic drop, this one. I was pretty impressed with how this one came out because I'm not going to lie, mate, I am running out of ideas for all the meat stock stuff I've been doing over the years, but I was pretty stoked with this one. It came together quite organically, sort of focused on the tattoo and the riff-raff side of things, and there's plenty of Easter eggs hidden in there, but one of the more appealing parts of this design is it is actually the same colour as the local rugby team as where meat stock will be being held. The team from the Waikato. I don't want to say the name because we don't want to get sued, but yeah, I reckon it'll be a bit of a winner. There's already been lots and lots of interest of people trying to pre-order and only available at the event, guys. So if you want one, buy your meat stock tickets and get in line early because every year they go.
They do. They always go and people piss and moan, but they're limited edition for a reason. But speaking of Easter eggs, to point out to people, that's what makes these things so special is there's so many little hidden meanings in the artwork. So I've kind of zoomed in here a little bit just to show people, but there's a lot of little hidden bits of artwork that have meaning and look cool.
Yeah, this one here in the corner, the hot rod, that's actually the actual car of the guy, Matt, that helps out with the hot rod rumble. So he was pretty impressed that I included his personal car in the design. So
just so people who are playing at home that don't know, what kind of animal is this?
that is a kiwi.
Kiwi. Doesn't have 4 legs.
It's a little flightless bird from New Zealand, and it's actually wasn't very well designed when they created animals. It's quite fragile and doesn't do too well living in the wild. They're protected for a reason.
There was lucky there was no other 4-legged animals in New Zealand or these things wouldn't have lasted.
No, they didn't have any predators for a while there, but yeah, beautiful little rare bird.
Cool. All right. Featured tattoos. So I've got a couple of tattoos to show you here, and I always value your opinion as our resident tattoo expert.
That's good use of the body there. You could have put that on a flat bit of skin and it wouldn't have meant a pinch of anything, but the fact that it's on the arm ditch there and it opens out to be a mozzarella stick, first I thought it might have been like a hairy poo or something like that, but then with the animation, it looks great.
The animation's been done well. It's been thought of pretty well.
I like it. One thing I learnt early on in my tattoo apprenticeship was placement can make or break a tattoo. So they've, worked with the movement of the body really well here and done awesome.
All right. Now, this one caught my eye. Don't know how. But yeah.
Caught your brown eye.
So this is by a person called Not Jennifer Deku, is what she goes by. It's a back piece done by Dane Haig from La Familia Tattoo in the UK. But the part I really liked was the little cow down the bottom. I thought that cow was cool.
Yeah, there is a cool cow. And we've gone through the list of artists that she's seen, and there is some heavy hitters in the traditional tattoo scene that have contributed to this bodysuit.
Yeah, Mike Wilson, Sam Lazel, Steve Byrne.
Chad Copliger.
Yeah.
There's some good names.
So, yeah, beautiful tattoos.
Flick it. We're going to get in trouble for staring at that.
No, you want me to move on? I thought you could talk about this tattoo for a bit longer.
What, she's got tattoos?
Okay, products. There's some new products out there.
Yum. These guys always nail it. I love Adam and his creations, but yeah, I'm excited to try this one, the beef gravy.
Have you ever heard of New York cut pepper before?
No.
No, neither have I. I had to Google it, right? Because it says the beef gravy, New York cut black pepper. Pepper's pepper to me. What does New York cut mean? Is it a sort of grain of the cut? But it's not. It's basically ground black pepper with other spices. So they mix it all together, and that's what they call New York cut black pepper. I didn't know. But this one's a powdered gravy. So people that want that nice upmarket gravy, but they're not prepared to spend the time, but you're a foodie, then you can get something like this and make your own beef gravy at home, a quality version of it, as opposed to the crap that you buy at the supermarket.
Yeah, you just need to add a little bit of red wine and some tomato sauce for the tang.
Yeah. So I'd love to try it. You need to send it to us. We need some. All right.
So this is an upgrade of what we went through a couple of weeks ago. I found this one.
Rocket stoves.
So we've seen the rocket stove, we've seen the pack down version, but this guy's taken it even further and he's actually added the copper pipe there, which heats the water. And, you've got boiling hot water for free.
How much water do you reckon it's going to boil?
As long as the water's feeding through, mate, that's going to heat. That's going to come in cold. and come out hot as long as that fire's going.
So a few people hypothesised, because you can't see it, that it would probably be hooked up to a spa bath.
Yeah. And probably just on a return system where
Yeah.
it's just constantly flowing through. I'm pretty sure Wayne from Barbecue War in New Zealand, he makes these things and he's got his own outdoor spa where it's just a big old pallet-sized cage with the water plastic tub in it, and he's just got one of these hooked up and he just has his backyard bogan hot tub.
But a few people also said it doesn't need a pump. Apparently it's gravity generated.
Yeah, I'm definitely no rocket stove scientist, but that makes sense to me.
Neither am I. Here's another joke you sent me.
Stay in your fucking lane, Pizza Hut.
The fuck is this?
Give the people what they want. They've come out and said that this is a tomato-based wine that tastes like pizza. Pizza Hut, no one fucking wants wine. We want all you can eat back, all you can eat restaurants or nothing, please.
Do you know the only places left where I feel like they've got a lot of all-you-can-eats is at airports?
True.
When you go to Brazil, they've got them in airports. And you know when the fucking last place you want all-you-can-eat pizza is just before you get on an aeroplane.
Exactly.
And you know what? Everyone else on the aeroplane doesn't want you doing it either.
No.
I disagree with you. I just think some things, like, should stay in the past. They should live on in our memories as being fond memories as children, right? Because I tried to watch The Goonies the other day and it was fucking terrible.
The new one?
No, the old one.
Well, the new one's coming out and they're using the original cast. So anyway,
Oh, that might be good.
well, touching back on that, there's a bit of an epidemic going on in the entertainment industry at the moment is no one wants to create anything new. They're basically feeding off nostalgia. So that's why we're getting reboots and remakes and sequels and that sort of thing, because no one wants to fucking take the risk of writing anything new now. So we're going through a bit of a bland stage of our culture of no one wanting to create something new. You're just getting sequels and reboots and a bit of a tough time, but yeah. Bit of originality will resurface one day, but nah, mate, I think I've gone long enough without all you can eat. I would love to go back down there.
Well, there's no nostalgia in tomato wine.
There's not.
Pizza Hut tomato wine. So I don't know who come up with this. The next one, I'm going to let you look at this one, digest it, and then comment on it. You ready?
Anything could happen. I can appreciate that. Do you know how much skill it takes to capture a dog doing a poo without it being nervous and just darting off? I love the fact that they've got the geographical locations too, just in case you wanted to go and recreate it.
There's the geographical location, there's the type of dog it is, and there's the name of the dog on each one.
But what's going on here? Spicy baboon birthday.
I don't know what that is.
Because it's not his name. His name's Humphrey.
So what we're looking at here is the 2025 calendar of dogs pooping in beautiful places, and this is the Australian edition. Does that mean that there is other editions?
You would imagine.
I thought we were pioneers, but there could be a Greece edition, an American edition.
I'd like to see the Vatican edition.
I think this would make a good Christmas present.
Second best Christmas present. Meat stock tickets are number one.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, Pitmaster Spotlight. So this is someone who pops up on my feed regularly. Now, there's lots of other Pitmasters that we're going to get to eventually that are doing amazing things in barbecue, but some people just are never on the radar, or I feel like they're never on the radar. And I don't know this guy very well, but I know I see his food a lot, and I know it's very inspirational style food. Have you seen this guy? Simon is what he goes by on Facebook.
No, I haven't. I like his name, though.
He does a lot of kind of food where it's international flavours, international cuisines, but he puts a barbecue spin on it. So this one here is a Greek meatball soup, but he's cooked the meatballs in his smoker.
That sounds like a win to me, mate.
This is some of his other dishes. He did a dish here. He said, have you ever heard of a beef pho? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Pho.
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 Pho
But he goes, have you ever heard of a bun bo he?
No.
No, neither have I. He goes, well, now you should. In the primo, he cooked some beef ribs and different pork cuts. He then got all the bones and some offcuts, put them in a big pot, stewed it up all day, and then used the beef in the pho. Okay, and this is another one. It's a duck luxor. It's a great example, right? So all the spices are dry roasted. The duck was smoked. The skin was then rendered. Even the coconut was charred for the coconut milk. So he actually got the coconut milk from coconuts and charred them first. And then he has this beautiful, luxurious broth, and that's his...
Is that tofu?
Yeah, it is.
I love tofu.
How nice is it to dunk it in that sauce? And eat
So
it?
good. If you got
So
crispy
good.
skin tofu and then you dunk it like agadashi styles, just, yeah, it's great.
So this is the last one. This was curry pa nang I can't pronounce it. I apologise, I can't pronounce it. He said this took 36 hours. He said it's thick cut osso bucco. He smoked it for a few hours, got the bark the kind of way he wanted it. Then he covered it in a homemade Penang curry and sous vide it for 30 hours. He then used the juice of the cook with coconut milk and then reduced it down. And this was the dish.
Looks pretty good. But yeah, anytime you're doing a shin or an osso bucco, you can sort of just not have a reliable cook time because they're done when they're done.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm loving this cuisine where people are basically taking the technique of cooking barbecue either low and slow or with that smoky flavour over charcoal, and then they're adding it to traditional dishes that wouldn't otherwise do that, and then adding to what is already a fantastic dish and making it even better.
Yeah, but also they're not trying to reinvent the wheel, you know. They're just complementing what already exists with, you know, a different technique.
Yep. Okay, we're getting towards the end of the episode, and that's where we get to eat something, try something, a hack, something to eat, and it's my turn.
It is. What have you done for me, mate?
Nothing, but we did film in the studio a special episode with Luke Moonshine, so if you haven't seen that episode, make sure you check it out. But he's made us some smoked lemonade.
Oh, it sounds amazing.
So you filmed this. Talk me through it.
So we've got some nice homegrown lemons there. He's just slicing them up so that we can throw them in the Traeger just to get a bit of a char and get some smoke through them. They're done when they're done. You don't want to overdo them because then you'll actually bubble all the juice out of them. So then, yeah, we've squeezed all the lemon juice into a container and filtered out the pips and all the pulp, and poured it over some ice. Added a little pinch of sugar just to, you know, complement the sourness of the lemon. Top it up with sparkling water, mate, and we've got some smoky flavour profiles coming through, and it's absolutely divine.
So you reckon we're going to be able to taste the smoky profile out of the lemons?
Definitely.
Okay. I like the look of it. How much sugar you put in it?
Just a pinch, mate.
A pinch.
Yeah.
That's it. Okay.
And
liking it.
it obviously comes down to taste as well, but I personally don't consume too much sugar myself, and it's another one of those ones, mate, where we don't know how much goes in. It's just chuck it in and flavour to taste.
Rightio. Let's get Luke to bring our drinks in. Thanks, buddy.
Sweevis. This is either going to be delicious or it's going to taste like someone who's a cigarette smoker's sipped the top out of your can of Solo.
Before we start to drink this is embarrassing, by the way, but I have been watching a lot of Love is Blind on Netflix. Have you ever watched it before?
No.
Okay.
And if I had, I wouldn't admit it.
So the embarrassing part on the show is they're always using these glasses that are basically chrome. So you can't see what they're drinking. Could be water, could be alcohol, right? But it's in every episode, breakfast, lunch, dinner, bronze. They're like bronze cups. And I couldn't figure out why, so I had to Google it. But apparently because they changed the storyline so much, people's drinks go up and down all the time. So people would go, oh, when he said that and she said that, the drinks changed. So that's why they put them in cups where you can't see the liquid.
Do you know there's people that are employed full-time to do that sort of thing? So when you're filming scenes, they have to be like, oh, wait a minute, you're wearing the wrong T-shirt, come and they actually manage the set to keep on top of those sort of little things. Because they used to have TV shows back in the day where all they would do was pick bloopers out of movies where they're like, oh, the clock changed 45 minutes in that split-second scene. So now there's actually people that their full-time job on the set is to eliminate all those sort of variables.
We don't have that guy.
We don't. We're lucky to have Moonshine here making it for us, mate.
I feel like we don't even know what episode we're up to.
16.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Righty. Let's try this. Okay. It's refreshing. Very. And I can taste that little bit of smokiness to the lemon. What do you rate it?
I rate it.
There's something with a bit of smokiness that I love in tea, especially, and I never knew I liked it in cold beverages until now.
The more it sort of sits on the palate too, that smoke is starting to translate a little bit more.
Yeah, I feel it. Okay, awesome.
It's starting
Good job.
to make it sound like we actually know what we're on about.
Well, we've got fancy fucking glasses and everything, bro.
Fancy words. Yeah, that sip was way smokier. But not overwhelming.
No, it's not, but it's definitely there.
We didn't use eucalyptus for the smoke.
We've also got a bonus. Do we have one? Is it ready? We've got a bonus one today.
So we've not only got Luke Moonshine in here, We've got Adriano in here as well.
Yeah, so that's another special edition we've done. We've done one with Luke Moonshine. We've done one with Adriano on Brazilian barbecue specifically, right? What is happening in Brazil with barbecue? If you haven't watched that episode, you really should watch it. What they're doing in Brazil with barbecue is phenomenal. And barbecue's big in Australia, it's big in New Zealand, it's big in America, it's big in Europe, but it is huge in Brazil.
It's still so young here while it's generational over there.
Yeah, but the scale of what they do it on, the scale is phenomenal. And all the love and respect to America when it comes to barbecue in Australia, we think our events are really big. But when you look at the scale of what they're doing in Brazil, it just seems to be so much bigger than what we're doing. I could be wrong, but that's just what it feels like. So if you get a chance, watch that episode. But we've got garlic bread hot dogs.
Yeah, so you're taking two things that are awesome on their own. We used to do this at a local pizza shop in New Zealand. We'd order the Kranskis and the garlic bread, slice it down the middle, and then just pop the Kranskis in. And
Adriano hasn't invented this.
no, he's just done the Brazilian thing where he's claimed it.
Okay, well, it does sound fantastic. I love garlic bread, right? I love hot dogs. We're putting those two things together.
And the cheaper the garlic bread, the better. Like the no name brand stuff is very hard to beat.
Yeah, and how long do you think we can stall this conversation till he gets his shit together?
I don't know. I'm fucking running out of talks.
He's cooking it.
He is cooking it.
He's literally cooking it. How long, Adriano?
You hear the microwave?
Flew away. The cheese flew away.
It's going to be too hot to fucking eat.
Now our fucking drinks are going to go down further and people are going to go, they fucking edited that.
This is the laziest. We had full throttle pies for lunch. What is that? Because I've already had one.
All right. So that's it. Give it a try.
This is what it's like when worlds collide.
It's also when you have that reflection that you haven't worn a black shirt.
I ate mine earlier so
I'm so
meticulously.
screwed. I'm so screwed. All right, let's have a crack at this. Oh, the cross section. Look at the cross section on that. Look at that.
You.
I don't even know how I'm going to eat this without spilling it.
That's good, right?
It's really good. All right, we've made a mess. We've been spoilt though. We've got our fancy wine, smoked, alcoholic-free beverage. We've got our awesome hot dog.
So good. I can't even talk. I'm just making sure I don't have shit in my teeth.
Fucking made such a mess. Okay, here's the Encore. This is the last picture of the day. This is the picture where I bring up a random picture and then you've either got to make a story up or figure out what the hell's going on. But this is it.
I like it. It's like a leather shoe version of a car. It's like a Blunston. But the funny thing is when you sent me this, I was at this particular holiday park while all this was happening. I saw heaps and heaps of awesome hot rods. Didn't see this particular car there. It was up at Yamba a couple of weeks ago. But there were some cool cars there. And it was just for the GM. Like there wasn't a show and shine or anything like that. It was just they all congregate up there this certain time of year, all catch up. Like there was a guy there who had this awesome Ford hot rod, but then he had a mini version as well and had a golf cart motor in it. So he was just getting around the park in this little tiny version of his rat rod.
I feel like that is a really unique, cool car. I haven't seen anything like it before. Maybe I'm sheltered, but I'm definitely not into the custom car scene as much as a lot of people, but I just think this was one of the coolest, uniquest cars that I've ever seen. So for those that are watching at home, how would you describe this?
Do you reckon it shrinks when it gets wet? It's all leather, right?
I don't know. I think it's painted. I think it's metal painted to look like leather.
But yeah, it's basically an old Ford or something like that, and they've put wheel covers over everything. It's really just, it's a boot.
It just looks like something Mad Max-ish in a way, but it's also vintage in another way. So if you know what kind of car this is or you know anything about this car, let us know because we think it's really cool and we'd love to find out more. And that's it. That wraps up another episode. I feel like we're well fed. We've had good times.
Yeah. And you're about to head off to Texas too, mate.
I am in a couple of weeks, so I'm looking forward to that. It's a family holiday. The last thing they want to do is have me drag them around barbecue joints. So I will do some of it, but I'm probably just going to make it a family holiday.
Yeah, cool. So they'll be doing heaps of stuff while you're at barbecue joints, or
I feel like if I take them to one of those outlet malls and let them loose, while they're in there, I could...
just give them the meat stock credit card, mate. That'll be sweet ass.
I won't get far. All right, see you, buddy.
See you, bro.